This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe on this date. And yes, there is an on this day for once. There aren't going to be too many in February, potentially, but anyway, this one is big. It's February 1st, 2015. The New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks were fighting it out in Super Bowl 49 to be the champion and all that. The Patriots had a massive drought. They were once a big dynasty, and now they hadn't won a title in 10 years. And the Seahawks were the defending champs and trying for the first time since the pesky Patriots to go back to back. It's called one of the best games around. And all that. NBC's broadcast of Super Bowl 49 actually was the third most watched American TV broadcast of all time, behind Super Bowl 57 and the Apollo moon landing, seen up to 114 million people. So this was very much a huge moment and all that. Anyway, there was a plan for Kansas City to be named the host city and all that. Unfortunately, a tax was defeated, which meant that Kansas City could not. They wanted to have a rolling roof, but it failed. So then Tampa, Miami, and Glendale all went for the Super Bowl, and Arizona got it. It'll be the first time at University of Phoenix Stadium since Super Bowl 42 in 2008, which the Pats ironically contested that one, that it would be at University of Phoenix Stadium. Anyway, the Patriots had a tough time. They started off 2-2 and it looked bad. However, they put up 7 straight wins after that to start 9-2, and then would put up 12 wins to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. They had a tight divisional round match against those pesky Ravens, and then crushed the Colts 45-7 in the AFC title game, which a lot of people criticized for Deflategate. But regardless of that, Brady was still around, putting up his 10th Pro Bowl selection that year with 4,109 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Rob Gronkowski was his top target for over 1,100 yards catching and 12 touchdowns. Julian Edelman put up almost 1,000 yards per season. The running game was just, 3 running backs going for one key thing. There wasn't a major one. Stephen Gostkowski led the NFL in scoring for the 4th time, putting up 156 points. And the defensive line had Vince Wilfork and Rob Ninkovich anchoring the defensive line. Horizontal to Hightower, Darrell Revis, and Devin McCourty were great defenders. The Seahawks were the defending Super Bowl champions, and it looked good for them, but they were floundering too at 3-3. And just like the Pats, they went on a massive winning streak. Well, they won 9 out of their last 10 games. They won 12 and got the number 1 seed. They had not allowed any touchdowns in the past 2 games, and their defense was best in fewest points allowed. Seattle would win the divisional round against Carolina by a pair of touchdowns, and then needed overtime in a game I talked about a few weeks ago on this day, that they needed to beat the Packers in overtime after being down by 18, was it? Or was it like 12? But anyway, Seattle became the first NFC team since the Packers of 96 and 97 to reach back-to-back Super Bowls. Russell Wilson was in control because he was the quarterback, 3,400 plus yards, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He ran for 6 touchdowns himself. Doug Baldwin was the best receiver at 825 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jermaine Kearse was a good, reliable target too. Marshawn Lynch put up the 4th best rushing yardage in the NFL with 1,306 rushing touchdowns. He led. Stephen Hotchkiss was a pretty good kicker. The Legion of Boom, known for their tough secondary, as in their 2 cornerbacks and their 2 safeties, looked pretty impressive. With Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor getting to the Pro Bowl. It would be hard. Bobby Wagner was a good linebacker. So the Pats almost fell to the Ravens. Had to come back twice from a 14-point deficit. And they crushed Indy and all that. Seattle had to have that comeback against the Packers, down by 16. I said 18, sorry. And they won. Anyway, this was the first Super Bowl matchup between New England and Seattle. New England and Seattle would frequently battle in the regular season, mostly because the Seahawks were in the AFC for a while before the two had to do realignment. So anyway, this was huge and all that. Malcolm Smith, who was the MVP of Super Bowl 48, actually was not part of the Super Bowl 49 squad for Seattle and all of that. He could have came in, but the defensive coordinator thought that Bruce Irvin, KJ Wright, and Bobby Wagner should be the linebackers, and they didn't want to go 3-4. It was a toss-up between Seattle and New England with bettors before this game. Of course, we all know about Deflategate and all that. Seahawks would wear their navy home jerseys while New England would have to wear their whites. This was a retractable roof stadium, University of Phoenix, but the roof was open because, well, the temperature was 19 degrees and clear conditions. It was huge and all that. Anyway, yeah, the Patriots were trying to eliminate their problems with the University of Phoenix Stadium losing at Super Bowl 42 to the Giants. Still hurts to this day. So NBC would broadcast the game with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth doing the work and all that. So they did what they did. A lot of advertising internationally. Canada had it on CTV with more than 8.26 million people. So anyway, Idina Menzel performed the national anthem. And the halftime show would be performed by Katy Perry. So anyway, regardless, let's go to the game itself. This was a huge game for both teams, as the first quarter saw no scoring, which was unusual. In the second quarter, Brady threw a touchdown pass to Brandon Lavelle for a touchdown. And then Seattle on the concurrent play got a 3-yard touchdown run by Marshawn Lynch. The Pats did score a touchdown with 30 seconds left in the half as Brady hit Gronkowski. And then Seattle didn't go conservative. They decided, we're going for the win. We're going for points before halftime. And Russell Wilson threw a touchdown to Chris Matthews. Hotchkiss kicked the extra point. 14-14 halftime. And in the third quarter, Seattle took the lead on a Hotchkiss field goal. And then Doug Baldwin got a touchdown pass from Wilson, making it 24-14. And it looked pretty impressive. Like the Seattle Seahawks were going to win the Super Bowl. And few people would agree. However, 12 minutes left. New England mounted a drive as Tom Brady threw to Danny Amendola. Big touchdown. All that. Yeah. Anyway. New England got the ball back with 6:50 left. And it was a couple of key plays and all that. There would be a couple of runs which got the ball to the 3-yard line. And with 2 minutes left, Brady tossed one to Edelman for a touchdown to make it 28-24. Seattle had the touchback. And then there was a key completion to Marshawn Lynch. And then Seattle had a chance for something. Wilson threw a deep pass down the right sideline to Jermaine Kearse, who was covered by Malcolm Butler. Not the first time we'll hear that name. I mean, first time we'll hear that name, but not the last. Both players dove for the ball, and Butler managed to deflect it. But somehow Kearse caught the ball in his hands. Well, he tipped it to himself and then caught it while lying on his back. Butler did shove Kearse out of bounds. But that was a 33-yard play. It was like one of the biggest catches of all time. And it reminded New England fans, unfortunately, of the whole catch by David Tyree and also Mario Manningham's catch in Super Bowl 46. Seattle was at first down at the 5-yard line with 1:05 left. And it looks like it would be over. Marshawn Lynch ran the ball but was tackled by Donta Hightower, and New England did not call a timeout to stop the clock. Seattle ran the clock down to 26 seconds. And Seattle decided to call for a pass play, which was kind of awkward. They decided to go with a slant for Tyler Lockett or Jermaine Kearse. And the throw was to Lockett, but Malcolm Butler came out of nowhere and caught the ball. And New England had the ball and all that. Anyway, so New England was actually saved because of a 5-yard penalty by the Seahawks, because Tom Brady had to take the snap in the end zone and couldn't take a knee because that was 2 points. That would have been 2 points for Seattle. So Brady took the knee, and it was over. As he did it. 37 for 50, 328 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He set a new completions record in the Super Bowl. And set a new record for touchdown passes in the Super Bowl, beating Joe Montana. Edelman caught 9 passes for 109 yards and a touchdown. Russell Wilson, for the other side for Seattle, 12 for 21, 247, 2 touchdowns, and that 1 interception. Marshawn Lynch ran for 102 yards. And Chris Matthews, who hadn't caught any passes before the Super Bowl, caught 4 of them and got a touchdown, which was weird. So anyway, Brady became the 3rd quarterback to get 4 Super Bowl titles and was named MVP for the 3rd time, tying Joe Montana's record. All that. This was the 10th consecutive Super Bowl without a repeat winner, and it's still to this day. However, Seattle's final play would be criticized down to a T. It's like you're at the 1-yard line, you have Marshawn Lynch, who's a pretty good runner. Easily touchdown and all that. Patriots probably would have let him score. But no, they went for a pass play, which was brutal in my mind. And I, as a New England Patriot fan, am critical of this play. Seattle did. I figured it was over and Seattle had us gasping for air. And it looked like, another Super Bowl loss for the Pirates. It didn't happen and all that. It's been called one of the worst calls ever, and I agree full-heartedly with that. I mean, honestly, how could you justify that call? But anyway, yeah, the Pats would go on to a bit of a dynasty, winning Super Bowl trips and all that, getting to 3 straight Super Bowls later on in the 2010s, winning 2 of them. But the fact of the matter was that this would kind of end Seattle's dominance and all that. They didn't get to they haven't been to the Super Bowl since 2015, which kind of sucks for my good friend Jason Lundgren, because he's a diehard Seahawks fan. But the fact of the matter is that the Patriots won the Super Bowl, first time in 10 years. I was happy. I was at peace with myself in a sense. But, things are made to be broken, aren't they? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.